All right, welcome back to yet another Talk Wednesday. I have a special guest, Cathy Derksen, with me in the studio today. And before Cathy and I get started, I just want to make sure that I say a big thank you to the Talk Wednesday sponsor, Leanne Miles. Thank you, Leanne, with the Centum. Let me get this right. Centum Home Lenders Limited. So thank you so much, Leanne, for being so supportive of this fun project. Welcome, Cathy. Where are you coming to us from? Where are you in the world? Share with everyone where you're at.
I am in the burbs of Vancouver, Canada. So Surrey, for those of us that know the neighborhood, but Vancouver, Canada is the city that everyone will know.
Perfect. And Cathy and I met a few weeks back and had a great chat. I was a BC gal and I married a true BC boy. For anybody that spent much time on the West Coast, you know that there's very few tried and true actual BC BCites, because there's a lot of imports, so to speak. So I married a Surrey boy. His family's all out in Chilliwack. So BC is a place that's very near and dear to my heart. I was married in Vancouver, and I'm thankful for all my years there. So in speaking with you already, I'm endeared to you, Cathy, because you live in one of my favorite places in the world. So thank you for being with us today, this morning, whenever people happen to be watching. Funny enough, it's evening for me, but it's, I know, afternoon for you with the time difference. So we're just going to have a little bit of fun to get started, Cathy. So I'm just going to ask you a couple of really random kind of get to know you questions, just so people can just know the human side of Cathy. So are you a coffee or a tea?
I am a coffee drinker. Yeah, I'll have tea sometimes.
And are you
a true coffee drinker? I am not the kind of coffee drinker that goes and gets Starbucks or Timmy's every day. No, I'm not that kind of coffee drinker, but I do like to have my coffee in the morning that I make at home and get a few moments of quiet time.
Love it. Love it. Are you cats or dogs? Cats or dogs?
Well, I have one of each. I would have to say dogs, though. Dogs are definitely my buddy. Yes, my last dog, she was my rock. We went through a lot together, and I don't know what I would have done without her. So yes, I will go with dogs.
Amazing, right? Amazing what they bring to our world. My family, we have a 3-legged dog that we rescued, and he is very, very special. And it's so interesting how each one of us in our family have such a unique and different relationship with him. So that's very cool. Very cool. All right. Last one, just, for fun. If you were going to drink, would you be a wine girl, or are you more of a spirits, wine or spirits? Which would we find Cathy in?
Actually, you would more frequently find me with a beer in my hand. And if it's not a beer, then it'd be wine. So, and if I'm going with spirits, it'll be a gin and tonic. But generally speaking, if I sit down at a pub, it's a cold beer that I order.
Love it. And are you a true beer purist, or are you into the new realm of craft beers?
Oh, I love the craft beers. Yes. I like dabbling and trying new ones. I tend to go towards the darker, so either a red ale or even into the darker winter ales and that sort of thing, even into a porter and a stout sometimes.
That's it. That's great. See, so already some new things that we've learned about you. And it's amazing, right? How more and more these things that we're interested in help us connect to other humans, because right away, like you and my husband would get along great because
With our
he's a
dogs
beer
and our
guy.
beer.
That's right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, Cathy. So you, your company, if anybody were to research you, your company is called Inspired Tenacity. So,
Correct.
what
Yes.
a unique and interesting name. So, where was Inspired Tenacity inspired from? Where does that come from? And I know that's a big question.
Yes.
So, do with that what you will.
Well, it really came to me, I guess, about a decade ago. And that was at a time when I was going through all sorts of big changes in my life. I describe it like I threw my life up in the air and I reinvented it on the way back down. I was in a toxic marriage. I was in a toxic work environment, and I just realized I had to make big changes. So I literally walked away from both, left the marriage, sold the house, set out on my own with two teenage kids as a single mom. And I left the career I'd been in for 25 years, and because I realized it wasn't going to get me through the next 20 years. And it was at that time that I realized that working with women, helping women to really create a life they love, was where my passion was. And it just came to me one day that inspired tenacity. It was, and I've become very connected with listening to my intuition and listening to things that come to me even unexplained, and where they came from, I don't know, but I've just learned to trust and listen. And so I've had a few people along the way when I've mentioned my business name, some people have said, well, that's ridiculous. How would anyone know what that is? You have to change that. And at first I felt, oh, I should change that because no one understands. And then I had other women go, perfect, I love it. And they understand immediately. And I just came to realize that the ones that don't get it are not the people that I'm looking for. And the people that get it immediately, those are my people.
Right. And isn't that so interesting, right? To realize, because so often when we enter into business, we want everybody to be our client, or we want everybody to be our customers. But it's really not possible, because we can't be all things to all people. And especially to do it with the level of passion that I know that you put into your business. So if you could paint a picture for us of who is really your ideal client, Cathy, who is your most favorite, what are the aspects of your favorite avatar, so to speak, your favorite client to work with?
The clients that are near and dearest to my heart are midlife women who are in a position where they're realizing that life is disappearing on them, and they're doing things that don't make them happy. They're in a job that they are frustrated and angry with. They're in a lifestyle that they're not happy with, and they're just feeling stuck and frustrated, and feeling like they don't know what to do next, or they're feeling like, I'm too old to start something new, or what else would I do with my life? And just numb and stuck is how I describe it. And in my mind, in our 50s and 60s and 70s, it's the time to start something new. It's the time to create something that excites us and inspires us. And I mean, when you think about it, keeping our brains busy and our life social, that's what's going to keep us healthy and thriving. We need to plan to live into our 90s these days. So that old thing of looking at retirement in your 60s and just puttering for the rest of your life, I would say for most women, puttering for 30 years isn't going to work. They're going to be bored and frustrated. So in my mind, let's figure out what it is that excites you. Let's get doing those things. So
Mm-hmm.
those are my
So and so what is your main method? So let's say I'm inspired today. I happen to be tuning in and I'm like, oh, she's speaking to me. So what's the process of how somebody goes about working with you? Kind of walk us through the initial kind of stages of what that would look like.
All right. Well, it's been about a decade that I've been, knowing that I needed to work with women and helping women. And my first direction in that, I went into financial planning, thinking I can help women figure out their finances and focus on that part. And just really realized that wasn't the right fit, that I really wasn't helping them to create a life that they're really excited about. So about a year and a half ago is when I walked away from that career and really sunk my teeth into the work that I'm doing. So over the last year and a half, I've really been fine tuning, like, what are my gifts and what am I bringing that are helping women to really reignite their life, is one of my phrases I love to use. And of course, the coaching model is one that we quickly fall towards. And I realized that didn't really click with me. And so what I've really created now, I have got people focusing on becoming authors. So I've discovered that women, especially, sharing our stories is very therapeutic for us as the writer, and also very supportive for the reader to hear our stories and to connect with each other and feel not so alone. And so that's where I've really been focusing, because I find that it's just really creates a spark of excitement, a spark of, yes, this is something I want to do. And so lately what I've been doing is I've partnered with one of my favorite publishing groups, Action Takers Publishing, and we are creating multi-author books, so anthologies. So what I do is I bring together the authors, I create the theme, and I walk with the authors through the process. So when people come to me, I help them create sort out their story, clarify their message. We go through different drafts and we create that chapter, that story that they want to tell based on the theme of the book we're working on. And then from there, there's generally about 20 women. Sometimes we have men and women in the books. And so as a team, we get to know each other, we meet each other, we really connect and make a network, is one of my favorite parts about being in the book projects. And I just found that for so many women, it's like a turning point in their stuckness and their frustration, is to put their story on paper, put it out there in the world. I mean, it's nice to also be calling yourself an international best-selling author. That's a bonus. But for me, that connection with community and building a bigger community is what the books are really all about. So that's where I found my sweet spot.
Nice. Well, and let's face it, I think it's the proof is in the pudding, in a sense, because here are you and I sitting here having this conversation as a result of this beautiful project that Shelley Lynn Hughes has put together of 365 individuals from across our great nation sharing their stories, right? And if it weren't for this project, 10 chances to 1, you and I, our paths would never have crossed. We wouldn't be having this conversation. And what a shame, in a sense, right? So that's where the beauty of the Pursuit 365 community too. The more we can encourage people to tap into who's in this community, so we can link arms and do great things. That's what I love. So you're speaking my language. You're speaking my language. Yes. So to change things up a little bit, I recall from our conversation previously that there was something that resonated, and it hasn't stuck yet, because what do they say? You have to hear something so many times first before it really sticks. But it was something that you said where, like, it's a snap, or it's a spark, or it's a something, and it's an acronym that that you use. I would love to have you share that with our audience. Perfect. Here.
Yes. One of the programs that I put together, and one of my favorite phrases, is snap out of it. And I use the word SNAP as an acronym. So get out of feeling stuck and numb, get into taking action with passion. So there we have our SNAP, SNAP. Because like I was saying earlier, that so many of us are just in that numbness, in that stuckness, and not knowing what to do or how to do it, and just going in circles. And I think for so many of us, it does become a sudden just decision. Something sparks that, something moves us forward. We've had that feeling probably for months and years in many cases, sometimes decades, but we've just been stuck in it. And something will come along that will just give us that bit of push that, okay, I'm going to do this now. I need to do this. Others are doing this. And again, that's where I love the books, because as we read stories of other women who have gone through similar situations or have overcome amazing things and have really created something that they never would have imagined 10 years ago or even 2 years ago, and to see what we can do with life. And a big part of my focus is creating that ripple effect, so that I'm helping the group of women around me, they're helping the women near them, and so on. And, like the old shampoo commercial, and, and they told two friends, and they told two friends, just that ripple effect of positive change. And to me, that is the main focus of the work I'm doing. And over the last few years, I've been involved in 7 book projects. I've been involved in many international networks now, and I've really created a global community that I'm working with now. So the last book, another book that I've got coming out right now, we've got people in, let's see, where have we got? We've got UK, we've got Australia, South Africa, India, all over North America. And these are people that I would have, like you said, I would have never known if I hadn't been building these communities and expanding my reach out into a global community. And now with the drop of a hat, I can just contact these people from all over the world and say, hey, here's what we're working on now. Let's do it. As if they're next door.
And where do you find that you're connecting with people? So where do you find that you're having the most success? Because again, some of what we want to do here is share, right? We want to share things that have worked for us, to maybe help somebody at a different stage of business or whatnot. So where are you finding that you've had the most success, finding your audience? Because each one of us is very unique in who and what we're looking for. But I would love for you to share that with us and tell us a little bit more about that experience for you.
And like you mentioned near the beginning, we can't be everything to everyone. And that was definitely something I got caught up in when I was first starting my business, this idea that you have to be everywhere doing everything. And it's definitely a learning curve, and to realize, no, I need to pick what's working for me and just do that and not worry about all the other stuff, and eventually maybe get to that. But for myself, LinkedIn has been my main social media platform. I find that maybe it's because I come from a professional, well, my background is in medical genetics and financial planning, and I, university graduate. So I think I connect with that group of people and the style of conversation that's there. And I think that's a huge part of it, is speaking the same language as the people that you're trying, as far as what you're talking about, what you're interested in, how you can support each other, looking for ways of really working together to create something. And so for me, LinkedIn is it's my home space.
There you go. There you go. So with you being so involved in the book realm of things, what book are you currently reading? Are you an avid reader? Are you currently into something right now?
Well, it's funny because I love books, but I don't have a lot of time to just sit down quietly and read. So I tend to do a lot of audiobooks. And
Okay.
Brene Brown's collection is always my go back to. I actually just went on a trip for the first time in 3 years, and I took a book with me, and that was The Untethered Soul with Michael Singer.
Mm,
And so I was
yes.
just to sit down and kind of absorb things again. But most of the time, though, I find that audiobooks are my way of absorbing information. And I've right now got so many book projects on the go that it's hard to be sitting down reading anything else because I've got 5 book projects on the go right now with different groups. So if we count the 365 and the other ones that I've got going on, it's so lots of books in motion.
But that just shows too, right? What, how much you've got going on, how much life that you're living. And it just goes to show you, right? Because so often, um, we as women, I know for me, I had the belief system for a long time that, it's downhill from 40. And, one of my careers is in the wellness space. And how many women I meet who have been told that, and they have more or less rolled over and like, okay, like that's it, and they believe it, and they're willing to accept that. So it's wonderful, that there's more and more people out there teaching people that that doesn't have to be reality at all. In fact, like it seems to me, Cathy, like you're just getting going. You're
Oh,
just getting
exactly.
going. Like,
And I think that's so true for many of us because, we've spent our younger years often looking after a family or, dealing or, working our way through a career. And it's really not until our 50s and 60s and 70s that we're able to take our own time to think, okay, what am I doing here? What is my thing? What's my legacy that I want to leave behind? And so, oh yes, that is my big focus is again getting women to snap out of it. This is the
there you
time to
go.
try something new. And again, it doesn't have to be starting a business or a different job. Even if you just take up another hobby or meet some new people or just something new that actually makes you feel excited. Like one of my favorite quotes is, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do that." Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. And to me, that's what's
Yes.
missing. So many of us are just sitting on the sidelines. We're just waiting for somebody else to do something and often complaining about our situation. But what makes you come alive? Go do that.
Mhm.
That's my big
And
focus.
know that it's okay to do that, because again, so many women, it's been ingrained that, like I have to be all about my family. I have to be all about everybody else. And so many women feel so much guilt, when
Yes.
they want to do something for themselves. But again, in the space that I spend a lot of my time in, it's trying to help them believe within themselves that you're a better wife, you're a better mother, you're a better friend, you're a better everything when you look after you first. That
Yes.
whole
Yes.
analogy of when the oxygen masks drop, you're supposed to put yours on first,
Yeah.
and it's not selfish. Um, so like put that away, right? And to it's okay to be happy, and it's okay to do things for you. So I love what you're all about and what you are doing, Cathy, and what you're putting into the world. Very we This positivity, like, wow, how refreshing, right? It's sort of sad how pessimistic people have become, and it's almost sad that it's so refreshing, right? That you have this positive outlook on things. So if people want to find you, connect with you, what's do you have a preferred method for people to track you down or to reach out to you?
Mhm. Yeah, the easiest way. So my website is simple, inspiredtenacity.com. And on there, I've got a few buttons to connect to book a call. So you just click the button and you can actually book a time on my calendar to get together, do a Zoom, have a chat. I've also got several pages there that have all my different books listed and what's available that way. And like I said, LinkedIn is where I hang out the most. I don't spend a lot of time on social media, so I'm not there a lot, but definitely direct messaging and connecting there is the best way to connect with me on social media. But definitely my website is the simplest way.
Perfect, perfect. Well, your passion for, you know, what you do, what you speak about, it's very infectious, Cathy. You know, there's no denying, right, that you've found your calling. You really, really have, and I think that's so, so special. So what's, you know, we're getting close to wrapping up here. So any other like tidbits, little nuggets, something you want to make sure that, you know, people know about you or what you do or anything like that that you'd love to drop here?
What is there? Hey, oh, there's so much. Um, and I think I mean, that key message of just go figure out what makes you come alive and go do it. And if you want to have a chat about that, if you just want to dig into a little more about what does that look like for you, like I said, that button on my website is just a free 30-minute let's chat. And so I would love to jump on and do that. I mean, Shelley's created this great book here that we do, but this is only a once a year kind of thing that we do. So if you're interested in getting involved in books where you actually have more space. So with the 365, we only had 365 words to explain our story. In the books that I do, you've got between 2,000 and 3,000 words to really share a story and send a message. And so if you're interested in doing that, again, click on the button on my website and book a call. Let's see. And so right now I've got a few different books going on. The one that's just gone to print right now is called Embrace Courage. And the next one I've got coming out will be Midlife Awakening. So that's men and women sharing their stories of, you know, that shift in midlife of figuring out what's next. And also a few different projects that are specific to, I've got a book around women in science and tech and other focus groups like that I'll be working with. So share your stories, get out there, have some fun, come alive.
Come alive, snap out of it.
That's right.
I love that. I love that. So thank you again, Cathy, for being with us here today and for sharing a little bit of you, who Cathy Derksen is, what Cathy Derksen loves to do, and yeah, for continuing to do what you do and uplift others and to show women especially, because I think that's really, you know, more your target audience, right? That life's just beginning. Life's just beginning. And there's so much goodness there and to be able to go after that. So thank you for that. Thank you again to Shelley for this wonderful Suit 365 community. And we so appreciate you and this wonderful project. So it's been a pleasure, Cathy. Thank you for being our guest here today. And until next Wednesday, everybody, thanks for watching. Take care.